Hi, welcome to the bar. I have a bar now. It's been a little while since we saw each other face to face. About 4 years ago, I put out a video. I mean, almost exactly 4 years ago, I put out a video called "The Graphic Design of Running for President," and a lot has changed since then. I'm a VTuber now. I have a bar now. I have over 800 followers on Twitch now. You should join them. Twitch.tv/QueerBuccaneer. We stream 2 to 3 times a week. But I really enjoyed making the graphic design of Running for President. If you've not seen it, all I did was talk about the logos of presidential candidates and talked about what was good about them, what was bad about them, some themes that we saw. It was a very unscripted, very sort of, I'm just going to talk about design for a bit kind of video. So I figure maybe I should do it again. I was going to do this for Super Tuesday, but when Super Tuesday was rolling around, it sort of looked like the presumptive nominees were just going to be Trump and Biden, and we didn't really have a Super Tuesday because everyone just sort of gave their candidates to Biden and everyone sort of gave their candidates to Trump. And I thought that was boring. But now that it's election day, I feel like every channel is going to be putting out a capital P political video. And I just wanted to put out something that was still kind of topical, but at the same time, a little bit lighter, a little bit less just Google, politics. I mean, with that being said, if you're in America, I hope you voted. I hope you voted Democrat, but I hope you voted. Most importantly, I hope you voted. Yeah, so let's. I'm doing this exactly the same way I did this last year. I've gone to ballotpedia.com, which is a really good resource for this kind of thing, and we're just going to go through and talk about these logos. Last year, the themes we saw were, there was a lot of just red, white, and blue. There was a lot of like sans serif fonts. There was some really funky experimentation. Some of it looked bad. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it looked bad, but there was some nice funky experimentation. I'm hoping for some new stuff this year. See these were the logos for Biden, Clinton, and Trump last 2 elections. As you can see, they're very boring. They're very almost the same shade. I mean, these are just, I don't like these at all. If I'm honest, I don't like these. But I'll get to that when I talk about them. The Trump logo for the 2024 election. But we're going to start with the withdrawn candidates, slowly move our way up. So first off, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the 2024 withdrawn Independent Party candidate. We have Kennedy Shanahan. It's very obvious that he's just banking off of the name Kennedy, because of course the Kennedys are a big American political dynasty. He thought he could get quite a bit of traction just off the name Kennedy. Shanahan, I don't even know who Shanahan is, and I'm quite plugged into the American political system. It's hard not to be. But I don't know who Shanahan is. This looks like it could be a man called Kennedy Shanahan, an Irish-American politician, Kennedy Shanahan. What I don't like is, let me zoom in here a little bit. What he's done here is he has mathematically aligned these two shapes. So the edge of this K and the very edge of this S do line up. And on the other side, the edge of this Y and the edge of this N, you see there's a straight line there. That is what's called mathematical alignment. But both that Y in Kennedy and the S in Shanahan are both weirdly weighted letters. So now you've got this chasm of white space here that makes Kennedy look like it isn't aligned. See, let's look at it bigger. It look like this chasm of white space here makes it look like the word Kennedy is not aligned with the word Shanahan, even though it actually is mathematically. It's not optically aligned, which is the important part of a logo. It's got to be optically aligned because your optics are what you're going to be looking at the logo with. You're not going to be doing math on your logo. People are going to be fucking looking at it. So this chasm of white space, and again, it's kind of the same here. We've got this chunk of white space here, which kind of makes it's less obvious on this side, but what it could have done with some optical centering rather than just mathematical alignment. I don't like this. It's also boring. It's also just really boring. It tells me nothing about Kennedy beyond they're American. They're American and they're part of the Kennedy family. And they dropped out. So it clearly wasn't that successful, was it? Let's move on to the Republican withdrawn presidential candidate logos. We're going to be going for whatever order they are in this, which I think is alphabetical by last name. So there's going to be some nobodies. I'm probably going to gloss over some of the nobodies unless I've got something interesting to say about them. So starting with Ryan Binkley, somebody I have not heard of until right now this second. And this he's going for the classic. It's stars and stripes. We're abstracting the American flag. Everyone does this. This is fucking old fucking hat. I do like the combination. I do like the font choice. I think having his name in this serif font and then the sans serif all caps subtitle font, it's an interesting combination. I like it. It's both modern and traditional at the same time. This glyph looks like an airline. I can't see it as anything other than an airline, unfortunately. I think it's too reminiscent of American Airlines. But there's also this star down here and this star up here are very clearly two different stars. See the weight of the body to sort of arm ratio is really different with both stars. I think they should have done more. I mean, you didn't need to do these stripes in the star down here, but the basic star shape should have been the same. It's just these little things that make you look like you're not really paying a lot of attention. I'm just you can't see my mouse, I've just noticed, which is, oh yeah, okay, so you can see my mouse when I click into the window, but so yeah, these, like I said, this looks like an airline, and this star and this star, it's the little things. I do like that this tail on the Y is the dot of the I. That's cute. It's cute. I'm a sucker for things like that. Doug Burgum, this guy, he was so small that his biggest logo is 400 by 200 pixels. This is how much of an impact Doug Burgum made. But you know what? I quite like this logo. It looks a little bit sort of hipster restaurant-y, but he's used this bit. We're not going to talk about that. I don't like this bit because this is we have a gap. Chuck in the flag. Just fucking chuck the flag in it. Be fine. But he's used the many small red and white stripes of the American flag to really nice effect to make this sort of shading, combined with the white stripe between the white outline between the letter and the background. It does make for a really eye-catching effect while still being reminiscent of the American flag. I really like that combination. The For America, obviously everyone has For America. I mean, it's cliche, but it's used like, and the font choice is friendly. It's still this sort of no nonsense sans serif, but it's got a little bit more personality to it. Slightly rounded corners give it slightly more of a friendly feeling. I don't know anything about Doug Burgum. I'm literally just going off of this logo here, but to me, he's no nonsense, but he's friendly. Which is a good combination when you're going for president. Let's talk about Chris Christie. This is wank. This is utter bollocks. There's zero personality in this, because the truth matters. I would have put truth in red and matters in white. I would have made truth the important word here. I think, if I'm right, Chris Christie's whole thing was he was one of the only Republican candidates. I'm probably wrong, but I think he was one of the only Republican candidates that didn't push this election was stolen line. I may be wrong with that. That's why he's pushing the truth matters. But it's boring. I don't have much to say about it because it's got no personality. It's shite. DeSantis, Ronald DeSantis. I mean, I don't like this kink in this flag. Like, the combination of shapes here, like, this is horribly thin. The rounded top and the beveled cornered bottom, especially here in this bottom one, it just looks really awkward. The actual DeSantis things itself, this was it Beto in the last election looked like, I want to say, Whataburger. This looks like it's trying to do a similar thing. Again, there's very little personality. He's trying to go for no nonsense, great American comeback. There's just very little here, you know? Elder 24. That was just the theme of the election, wasn't it? Until Biden dropped out. Elders 2024. I quite like this. This is fun. This specific abstraction of the American flag is one I've not seen before. You have the wavy lines, and then the star makes it look like a shooting star, which means forward, which means progress. Weird choice for a conservative candidate, but it means something. I can see what he's doing. The problem is he's called Larry Elder, and neither one of those words is enticing. Elder, again, we've had a lot of elder problems with the US election before Biden dropped out. And Larry, had he changed it with the word Larry, well, that just, everyone would have just thought Larry David. Unfortunately, his name does not lend itself to a good logo, but I really like this symbol. This is good. Nikki Haley, it's just kind of Chris Christie again. It's a little bit more modern because we've got this single blue line here, but it's just Chris Christie again. It's boring. Also these two Ks, like look at the kerning between these two Ks, and then either side of the I, you could drive a bus. You could drive 2 buses around this I. Holy shit. And then the Ks, they're practically fucking kerning all over the fucking shop. Heard. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. If I had to guess, I'd say this man was from the South, possibly Texas. But that might just be the sort of the block serifs make me think cowboy. The big red lone star makes me think Texas. This to me looks more like a Texas senatorial campaign logo than a presidential campaign logo. But it's not bad. It's far from the worst. It's got some personality, and it's not using the red and blue like all of these logos are using, like the same 4 shades. This is using a very muted red and blue, which, despite the fact that it's muted, it makes it stick out among the crowd of everybody else. I quite like this. Asa Hutchinson, another person I'm learning about right now this second, and I'm sure you are too. Asa for America. I don't hate this, but it makes me think of like small American grocery store that's maybe in like 5 states, and I'm talking the small states, or like the middle, the flyover states thing. Like this is a Wyoming based grocery store. It's just things like the kerning being like really unaligned. This shape here proves they didn't think a lot about the kerning and the general position of the ASA. The using like this blank space here, like what they should have done is carry this blank space on and swept it off. I don't know how best to do that, but they've got this beautiful blank space here that just completely, literally drives into a wall of the serif on the S. The 4 stars is cute. It's nice. It's inoffensive. It's nothing special. The weird combination of curves and straights, I'm not a huge fan of, but it's doing something. And speaking of doing something, Perry Johnson is doing something. He's got himself a blue sash. Maybe he won the beauty pageant. I believe I've seen this font all over fucking YouTube thumbnails. I could probably name this font. I definitely have this font downloaded, installed. It's a free Adobe Fonts font, which to me means that you didn't, like, okay, if you're going to run for president, you need to hire a good designer. And I'm not saying Adobe fonts are bad, because I use them, but I don't, my clients aren't presidential candidates, you know? I'm not going for the highest office in the world. But yeah, this is, it doesn't really, also it doesn't work as a logo because this stripe gives it a really weird bounding box. So you put the stripe on anything and the stripe just ends. It's gonna look weird and clunky and broken, but I like that he's doing something. Mike Pence, I didn't even know he ran for president, but this looks like this is Wish.com Trump's logo. This is just Wish.com Trump's logo. No more comment. Vivek Ramaswamy. You know what sucks? I really like this. I really like this as a logo. Maybe not for presidential candidate, but I really like this as a logo for something. Again, could be an airline, could be a credit card. I like that this bit and this bit is the same size. This extra stripe in here, it just gives a little bit of funk, a little bit of groove, a little bit of something. It's kind of ruined by the fact that this V and this V are supposed to be the same. This V has rounded corners and this V does not. Again, it's the little things. They pay a tiny iota more attention, Vivek. But Vivek, as much as I am loath to admit it, one of the best logos so far. Tim Scott, I've got nothing to say about you, Tim Scott. I've seen this exact logo 7,000 times with presidential candidates. And the cutoff at the bottom is so bad. That might just be Ballotpedia's version, but the cutoff at the bottom is so bad. That's going to cut off all them letters. Corey Stapleton, this doesn't look like a presidential candidate logo at all. This logo is a tech company's logo. This is not a presidential candidate's logo. Usually I would praise the candidates for doing something different, but this is too far away. It's too out there, and it looks a little bit too tech, bro. I see you're trying to make a C and an S, and you're being clever with it, but it looks too like tech company. It looks a little bit like evil tech company. And Francis Suarez, again, this is yet again like it's just Trump's logo with the colors inverted. I like the gradient. The gradient is nice, but it's just this, but with the colors inverted. So far, if we're voting purely on logos, Vivek gets my vote from the Republicans. Now let's talk these guys. These are the only three that ran for president for the Democratic Party this year. Biden, Harris. Let's have a look at the last one. This was the old Biden logo. You see these three straight lines? You see how I bad-mouthed this last year because it just says Biden president, Biden smash. Like, what did he do? Did he listen? He did listen because he added a little bit more personality. The stripes are now wibbly. They're longer now. The stripes are longer now. This version 2 is so much better than the version 1 because my complaint before was that the bar of the E looked like it was hiding behind the D, which made it a fraction hard to read. And this is taking that same concept of the Biden president logo and making it so much better. It's now far more legible as both the American flag and an E. And it doesn't say Biden president anymore. It says Biden Harris, which is this is how you do presidential logos. It's boring, but it's better. Dean Phillips for president. Don't like this. Doesn't look well thought out at all. This looks like this is just the font. It's not at all edited. They could have done some fancy things by making these two lines. If they had angled these so they sort of flowed into each other, but obviously not filling in the gap, that would have been really funky, but they didn't because they didn't put any work into this at all. Dean Phillips, you do not deserve. And then we've got Marianne. Now, I think this is the exact same Marianne for president last. It said Marianne Williamson before, and now she's just going by Marianne, which is interesting. It's a unique enough name that she can fly just going by Marianne. But and the pink and the baby blue, it's different. It draws the eye, but it's lost something in the 2024 rather than 2020. It's a little bit flat. It's falling flat for me, I'm afraid. Very uninspired this year. But now, the actual independent candidates. We've got Jill Stein. Jill Stein and her fucking Windows Vista ass logo. The alignment's all over the fucking shop. This should either be aligned with okay, I'm gonna ruin it for you. You see the line of this J, it's such a firm, lovely, the end of a letter like a J is a firm line that you can use to align the rest of your logo around. And what does she do? It carves straight through the S. Had the Stein been aligned with either this line or this line, we would have been going somewhere. We would have been getting somewhere. And also the 2024, I would say this corner and this corner should also be aligned. See the start of the N again. It's a very good, healthy logo, healthy letter, and it does almost align with this part of the 2, but I'm 100% sure that's an accident. What is this kerning here? Why is there a chasm between the 0 and the 2, but these two are like kissing? The dots inside the O look like they're stray pixels. This logo just does not work. This is bad. Jill Stein, terrible. Logo's not great either. Chase Oliver and Mike Termart. Is that Mike Termart? Kerning on here again. Kerning's all over the fucking shop. What is again? No, stop that. Chasm here, especially with the weighting here. There's an absolute. You could park a tank here. Like again, because like these look quite close to each other compared to these two. Because these closest bits are the same, but it's not been optically kerned. It's been metrically kerned. Look at this. Look at this absolute. You could get this V and fit it entirely here. This is abominable. They have specified for president and vice president, which you do not usually get. I hate this. Also, the top of this O is cut off. I don't know if it is cut off or it looks like it's cut off. Ignore that. I forgot to turn that off. I forgot to turn that off. You should just ignore that. So yeah, this symbol's also, the symbol looks like a bank. This is bad. Chase Oliver, bad. Chase Oliver looks like a bank. And now we're at the big boys. The big boys. First off, Trump Vance. It's just literally, they took the Trump Pence logo, erased 2 whole letters, and boom, retype them. Take away the P and the E, put in a V and an A. That's it. That's all we need. Let's fucking go. 5 stars, because I don't know, 5 stars. Now again, the font is it's no nonsense to the point of authoritarian. It's giving away very much I'm better than you vibes, but also this very, very thin box. I've never liked the very, very thin box because one, it doesn't align. Like it's not the width of the crossbar of the A, which I think it should be. It's also just too thin to actively look good when it's shrunk down. Just fucking fill in the box, man. Just fucking fill in the box. And Harris Walls. When I first saw this, I was like, I don't like that they're 2 different fonts. Why are they the same font? But this is the Harris font from the Kamala Harris campaign last election, and I spoke very highly of that campaign. I really liked that campaign's logo. I actually said I think I said it was one of my favorites last year, last election, and they've brought that forward, and I actually now, upon like further inspection, I quite like the contrasting fonts of Harris and Walls because it draws to attention their contrasting personalities, making them out to be 2 halves of a whole. And I don't know. And also like Walls being the vice president, it's a smaller logo where they squat a font. It brings the 2 of them into comparison. It's not the best. It's a little bit boring, but it's far better than Trump's. I really like the light blue as well. But yeah. As much as I loathe to admit, as much as I loathe to hand it to him, Vivek 2024 wins the 2024 presidential election logo design competition, as far as I'm concerned. But overall, it's a mediocre bunch. It's a very mediocre bunch, I gotta say. But with that out of the way, once again, this was not supposed to be a big capital P politics video, but if you're in America, I do hope you voted today. And yeah, come and watch me on Twitch. This whole setup for my Twitch, come watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/queerbuccaneer. We're streaming 2 to 3 times a week over there. And yeah, have a fantastic rest of the year. You will see me next time I have something to talk about. But until then, love you, bye.